Hello everyone, my name's Sebastian, this is Shy Programming, and today we're doing a graphical project. We're doing a cookie clicker clone called Oreo Clicker, and we're doing it in GameMaker Studio. So this is something I've been working on for a while, which is the reason for the lack of videos, which I'm not going to go into too much detail with because that's really boring. But basically, I've just been studying up on how to do GameMaker, and so I figured, why not do a collaborative project? So I have put a download link in the description. You should go download that. That's a little pack with all the sprites we're going to be using in this game. And the point of this game is basically just to do a cookie clicker clone for both you and I to learn GameMaker even better. And it's really a good project to get started in GameMaker. And actually, I've been watching a few tutorials already, and one of them, that was fucking hilarious. One of the tutorials was a floppy cat. It was like a Flappy Bird clone. It was fucking hilarious. Right, so the first thing we're going to be doing here in GameMaker, if you're not familiar with GameMaker, I suggest go watch someone professional explain what everything is, because I really can't go into detail of what everything is, as I am still building my understanding of it. But the first thing we're going to be doing is importing a sprite, which is the Oreo. So we're going into Sprite, create a new sprite, call it Sprite Oreo, and we're going to load a sprite. And as I said, I have provided this pack for you. It's in right here. It's called the Oreo Clicker pack, and there is an Oreo in here. There's an Oreo in there. I made it. I'm actually proud of it. It's an Oreo. I don't know what to tell you. So the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating an object which is going to contain this Oreo. So again, if you're not familiar with GameMaker Studio, I really suggest go watch someone professional explain it to you. It's pretty simple. Yet again, it can be kind of a nightmare if you're uncertain of what you're doing. So we're going to be making it visible so we can see it. We're giving it a sprite, which is the sprite Oreo, which is basically just an image or a GIF, I suppose it can be. And then we're making it solid. This is not really necessary, but I just prefer to do it. And we're giving it a depth of minus 100. This should put it right at the front and center of the screen, just making sure that nothing else will be on top of it. Okay, so we're not giving it any properties yet. We're not running any code for it yet. We're just setting up for what we're going to be doing. So we're going to make a room and call this game. You can call it whatever you want to. I prefer calling it game. And we're going to be making it very pixelated. This will make it so that the Oreo fits better in here. And then we're going to be I should probably go into detail with this. Making it a width of 320 and a height of 180. And then we go into views and say enable views, and also visible when room starts. And we're going to be making the view in the room 320 by 180. And you can see the little box that was around here before. You can tell that it can expand and all. And you can see it like that. So this will just focus in on the game screen. And then the portion on the screen will be larger than that. And we can actually make it the widescreen format of, oh god, is it 1280 by 720? I think so. Maybe not. And we're not going to be making it following the Oreo because that's not going to move. We can, however, place our Oreo in here. So if you go into objects, you can just basically just click and place your Oreo. And you can tell that it just, automatically, because we centered it. I forgot to mention, I just clicked center, and it will find the center position of the Oreo, so it better fits in the room, as you can tell. It's pretty nice in there, pretty snug. Now we're going to be making a object called globals. Now the globals is basically just going to be not visible, and it is going to be persistent, meaning it basically just follows you around. If you go into another room, it should basically still be there. Not too certain. But we're going to be making a create event in here. The create event is basically just whenever the object is created, which it is at the beginning of the game, we're going to be dragging in a piece of code that's under control and then under code. This is blank code. And to start off the code like that. And then we're going to be making some globals. So we're gonna, because the name score is already taken as a global is basically just a variable. It can be like an int or a string, depends on how you put it. But like this, we can make one called score while or whole, and we're gonna be putting it as a default of 0. Now this is important, okay? Because then when you enter the game, you'll have a basic score of 0, and we can then add and detract from that. Now, as everyone knows, with cookie clicker games and fucking every clicker game and coin clicker and doge clicker, there is a added score. An added score for every time you click, you get like 10 points, and that will increase when you, for example, buy the 10x, and then you get 10 times as much. So we're going to be having a global for that, and we're going to be calling it per click number. Per click number. Pretty simple. And in the beginning, it will be 10. Now this can increase, because that's fine. Yes, we are also going to be, well, actually, should we just keep this for now? I think we should. Okay. And then, oh yeah, okay, it's called globals, good. We're going to be making another one, another object, separate object, and call it right score. Now, right score, not visible, or actually, I should, let's make it visible, okay. And also we're going to be making it with a draw event, and it's just going to draw. I'm going to put in a piece of code in here, and it will be like draw text, and we're going to be making it like this. Okay, so what we do is we go into, oh damn, okay, not how I wanted to do it, like this. So what we'll do, actually, no, we can keep that. So it's going to be drawing the text in a specific color. Now, because we're doing an Oreo game, I figured it would be fairly, it'd be expected that the colors are black and white, although those aren't colors. It's a nuance, but whatever. So because our game screen is 320 on the X and 180 on the Y, we want to set it to, let's put the Y first at like 10. That'll be fine. The X, however, because of a cookie clicker game, we're going to be dealing with very large numbers. So I proposed that we put it at 220 on the X and 10 on the Y. Then we put in the string, as in what is it going to say? And what it's going to say is, I was going to write string. That's not what we wanted to say. We wanted to say score, and then a space, and then we'll add. And we can add a global. Actually, we're going to be have to do it like this: string global dot score whole. This will write out the value of score as a string, and it will write it out after the space in where it says score. So it will write it out like after this. This is called something specific. It's not really important. The point is that you can do this. You can add something to the string. Then you set a C value. This is the color. So we're going to be doing a black. This is very tedious because you have to do it 4 times for some reason. Not quite sure why. So 2, 3, and 4. And then you set an opacity. So it's just going to be how is this going to be transparent, or is it going to be a solid color? And for this, we want it to be solid colors. We just put it to 1, and then a semicolon. Now the semicolon in GameMaker Studio apparently isn't very important. What can I tell you? So we can just copy and paste this actually I want it to be 3 times, but then we're also going to be doing just a draw text, and this will be the basic text, and let's see how that works. It should write it out in white, not too sure though. So let's set it to the same as before, and then we're going to be putting the string in there, so it'll be score, and then okay, we're going to be having to do it the same way. And then again, string and the global called, what was it called? Score whole. Yeah, I realized I could have copied it, but we're not lazy here. Okay, we are, Very lazy. Okay, yes. Let's see. We are now writing out 3 layers. And as far as I'm aware, this should work. It might mess it up. But it goes through and it writes the first one out. So this will be the background color. So we want this to be, okay, it's easier if I just do it instead of explaining it. So like this. Now, what it'll do is it'll write out the same black text behind or in the background. Then it'll add another layer, and then it'll add another layer. So what we do is we push it out, one on the X, so it'll do like a drop shadow, and then we'll push it out one on the Y on another line, again on the background, and then it'll add the final layer. So this should not be C black, it should be C white. And then the last layer, which will be on top, will be white. So we go into the room and we select the right score and we just put it in the room. You don't have to put it anywhere specific. It doesn't matter because the positions of where it writes are already set. And then we also have to put the globals in the room. We can just put that in another corner. Again, doesn't really matter. Now, if we open the game, should actually work. Hopefully. Otherwise, I've just embarrassed myself. Okay. Although the grainy textures, the score is there. So that's good. I can tell that the view isn't correctly set. But the point is made, which is great. You can tell that we didn't add the 0. So it found the global. So that worked. Now we just have to go into, oh God. Is it here? Yep. Click that one. And if you're on Windows 8, you go in here, you go into graphics and you unclick that. Also, you can go into Windows and again, unclick where it says interpolate colors between pixels. This should make it fairly sharp. I mean, it's not the sharpest image in the world, let's be honest, because we're stretching a very low resolution image. But there you go. It's pixel art. Okay. So that's how it looks. The score as well looks pretty cool. Let's go into the room, set a background, and our background color, let's go into define a custom color, and we will make like a beautiful blue color. I like that. Okay. Now, I have provided a background, which you can use if you want to. So we go up here and add a background. Call it BK. Okay, what is this? This is a gradient. You don't need to do caps, but you know. And we just load a background. And in the same folder, there should be, let's go in there. Yep, background. It's basically just a circular gradient. It's pretty simple. It looks kind of nice, I suppose. So we do visible when room starts, and we add the background. Bam. Okay. So again, we can check it out. We are going to have to fix the view, but we'll do that another time. Right now, see. Oh, that looks kind of nice. And then the Oreo looks like it's sent from the heavens, which obviously it is. It's actually, the funny thing is, it's actually decent pixel art on the Oreo. I'm really proud of that one. I am really proud of it. Okay. All right. 2 seconds later, I just checked my my test game, and apparently this is the format that we're going for. The thing is, it just has to follow this. So if you want to make it larger, you can do that. What you have to do, or it's preferred that you do, so it actually fits the screen perfectly, is that you then make like a Photoshop file and then go into increase image size and then keep the aspect ratio, and you can make it whatever size you want to, and you can also make it smaller if that's what you're going for, but keeping this aspect ratio, that will make it fit better on your screen. That's just because of the background size and all, then, you know, there you go. So, yes, this is a bit better. Okay. We should probably go into the right score and, and fix where it draws, the background. So, for example, let's set it to 150. All right. So, I found a pretty good, position for this. It's about 170. The reason it has to be pushed out like this, it should actually even be pushed out further. But let's keep it here for now. It's because it's going to be very large numbers we're dealing with. So we're going to be having to make like a calculation, so that it when you get to around 1,000, it will just go back to 1 and then be 1k and then 1.1k and 1.2k like that. So as you can tell, nothing happens when you click on it, which is what we're going to be doing next. So we'll just duplicate the sprite of the Oreo, and we call it Oreo. Oh god, Oreo Click. We're going to edit the sprite and kind of focus in on it, because what we will do is we'll have to move it upwards, so like there. And then, okay, here's the funny bit. We're going to be scaling it, and we're going to be going down to about 97. This might look blurry, but trust me, it's going to go so quick you won't even notice it. So we're going down. We'll copy and paste it. You can just do this, and this will animate it into a GIF for you. And then you can transform it again, or actually scale it again to about 100, which is the original size. You can... Oh god, what did I do? Okay, actually, let's just go back. Okay, so now what we want to do is create the sprite for when you click on the Oreo. So it has to do like an animation where it, it scales down and then scales up like you're punching it. So that's what we're going to be doing, and we're calling it Sprite Oreo Click. It's not how you spell click. There you go. And again, it will follow the same properties as the last one because we literally just duplicated it. Go into here and edit the sprite. We'll copy and paste it. This will make it into a GIF for you. Now what we do is we transform it and we scale it. So we go down to about 97, which will make it a bit smaller. You can see something's happening now. You can copy and paste the original. And then one more time, because then you click on the last one and you scale that up to about 103 to be right on, to be persistent. So like that, it kind of flips around. It doesn't flip around. It resizes. It looks like it's being punched, right? That's what we're going for. You can make it better. You can make it worse, whatever. Doesn't really matter. So we're going to be going into our object Oreo. And upon event, a mouse event, and a, let's set it to a left button. Now, I had a lot of trouble with this, so if you're going to have trouble with it, I completely understand. So if you click the button, then this is going to be activated. And what it will do is it will set the sprite index to sprite Oreo. You can do a... Here you go. Click. Bam. Okay. So now it won't increase score. Won't do any of that. It will literally just change the sprite. You can run the game, as I'm doing now, to just... Okay. So one issue, it doesn't stop. Okay. So what we do is we're going to add an event upon a mouse event. Left released. And we can just copy and paste the code that we did previously. Paste it in there. And set it to the basic Oreo. Okay, let's check it. See if that worked. Yep, you can keep. You can hold the mouse button, and it will literally just continually animate it. Or you can just click once, and when you're done clicking, it will just default back. So that worked. Okay, nice. Now what we'll do is we'll go into our left event. So when you click on it, it will add to the score. So we'll go in and say global dot score hole. And then we will add the global called per click. Did I call it this? You can always go in and check. There's no reason to be lazy with this. So per click number, just copy and paste this to be sure. Yeah. Okay. So now what will happen is we will add the per click number. which in this case is 10 every time you click on it. And then what we should do is we should make like an alarm. An alarm is basically just a countdown, so that you can't just sit there and expect the money to just roll in. There has to be like a certain amount of time passed before you can do the next click, which won't be, it will be milliseconds, but it'll just be there to, you know, keep the money going like this instead of just continually coming in. So for an alarm event to go, there has to be something inside of it. Not that has to be containing anything, so I just put nothing in there, but it just has to have something in it. So we can check it. So we say if alarm number 0 is less than or equal to 0, because apparently if you just check for it being 0, it will not work in most cases. So like this, and then when we're done adding this score and all, we will set an alarm 0 at the value of, let's say, 3. Okay, you can always change that, but that's just a guidance thing. So if the countdown is true, like this, look at that. So it goes slowly but steady, and it just continues, and you can tell it just continues forever and ever. There's no end in sight, and why would there be? So you can click one time and just add 1 or 10, I suppose, or you can hold it down and, like DJ Khaled, you smart, you and Oreo, I appreciate that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Fucking DJ Khaled. Oh, he's my man. He is my man. Okay, so what we'll do now is we will make the calculations. So to make sure that you do not get a too large of a number, so you don't hit, millions, but you rather hit 1M. It's easier, and it means that we have to do less, to keep the number within the screen radius. So we do a step event. This means that for every millisecond in this game, this code will run, and it will translate something. So what we'll do is we go if global score whole is larger than or equal to 1 grand. Then what we will do is we'll convert it. So we say global dot score whole, and we will set it to equals. I'm not sure if you can do divided equal. I know you can do plus and minus equal, but so we do it like this just to be sure, and it looks better this way. It's easier to fathom what's happening. So we're dividing it by 1,000. So if you have 1,001, you will have 1,000. If you have 1,100, you will have 1.1. And then we will, actually if you do in here, we should have like a global that keeps the numbers, or the letters, I suppose. So if it's 1,000, it will just be a K. If it's a million, it'll be, an M. If it's a trillion billion dollars, it'd be like a T or B or whatever you want to. So we will do like I'm not good with names. Number count, and by default it's just blank like that. And in the step event, we will also check that the global number count, if that is equal to this. So if you're at the lowest amount of money, as in like in the hundreds, and you just reached 1,000, and this is still blank, then it will set it to 1,000, and then it will change this value or the number count to a letter, and it will be a K, a capital K. So like that. Okay. So this is pretty basic. We can go and check it out. One thing that we should do is in the draw event that after we write out the score whole, we also write out the number count. In that case, whenever you, if it's blank, it won't really matter. If it's millions or trillions or whatever, it will matter, and it will add the K or the M at the end of every number. So to keep track of it and minimize how large the number actually appears. So we can test it. So we're at 100, 200, 300, and when we hit 1,000, it will convert it. Let's see if that works. Yep, there you go. So it's at 1K. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, this works for me, but we forgot one thing. That in the global, we will have to, in here, oh Jesus. Okay, we should, in the step event, we should also set this one, the per click number. That should also be divided by 1,000, so to properly count. So global, oh actually I copied it. So this is equal to this divided by 1,000. There you go. We can test that out. We can test this out now, and it, you know, it will add in the 0.1 and 0.2s. Okay, and you can also tell if I move outside. You know, there's a little bug here that you can just drag. If you hold it in and drag it outside, it will continually animate. Not really too big of a deal. It stops when you click on it. It's nothing that I go into too much depth about, but there you go. And 1K and 1.02K. Okay, so that worked. That's pretty good. So what we want to do next, now that all this works, is to actually increase this to go to, oh damn, okay, there you go, copy and paste it, to work with the millions and trillions. So we'll just add an M. There you go. And a T for trillions. I'm not really sure how much trillions actually are, but whatever. We'll do it. We'll do it anyways. We're doing it live. Oh, okay, I suppose like that. No, I was doing it right. So if you're at 1,000 thousands and your number is a K, it will divide by 1,000, divide that and change it into a million. If you're at 1,000 millions, change to trillion. Okay, let me actually look up how much a trillion is. Okay, so this should be proper. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you have... I'm actually really bad at this stuff, conversion like this. But if you have 1,000 thousands, you will have a million. If you have 1,000 millions, you will have a billion. And if you have 1,000 billion, you have a trillion. Maybe true, maybe not true. In any case, this will just convert it into whatever value that you should so desire. Now what we want to do is we want to make a shop, so you can go in and you can upgrade whatever you have or whatever you want to have. You know, you can get an auto click. You can also get the 10x clicks, so it'll be so for every click you get 10 times as much. Now first we want to make an object and call this object object shop. For now, no sprite, it'll be solid, and we'll make an event. It will be a mouse event on left button and left released. And if it's released, it will literally just do nothing. If you press the button, what we will do is we want to send you to the next room. So room, go to next, like this. Or just send you directly to the next room. And we can duplicate this and call it object object back. And in here, it will send you not to the next, but to the previous. So like that. That's how simple it is. And we can place them in the room. So we're going to be making a shop in a minute. So what we want to do is just place the shop. We can place it in the corner. Really, again, it doesn't matter. We're going to be setting a draw event for it. So it will do a draw. and it will just draw again putting in a piece of code. And what it will do is, should we just actually, you know what we will do? No. Okay, delete that. What we will do is we will just, because we're super simple people, we want to just copy and paste what is being drawn by the right score. So this is what we did in the right score. And literally, we can just remove the strings, and it'll be good to go. We can just use this and change some values, you know, the usual. Okay, like this. We're going to be setting it as shop in all caps, because that looks nice, I think. I don't know. I like caps. I think it looks good. We're going to be setting it to 10. You know, whatever. You can set it to whatever you wish. I like that. And if you go into your game, it should be there. Check it out. Yep, there you go. Now, you can't click on it. And there is a reason for that, because it does not exist. There's nothing to click on. And you know, one would think you can just click on where it says shop, right? You can click on the no. It's not how it works. So we're going to be making a hitbox for that. So going into our shop, we're going to be copying the draw event and putting that into the, oh God, I forgot to, okay. And putting that into our back event. So it also draws, but it just says back instead of, instead of shop. So copy and paste that. Oh, yeah, shop back, nice. And then we can make a new room. So let's make a new room. And this just follows the properties of the last one called room shop. 320 by 180, you know, the usual. Okay, and to make it look like the game screen, we just put in the background. And remember to check that it's visible when room starts. That will just make it look even better. Now, what will happen is when it works, when we put in the correct hitbox and all this, it will send you to the right shop. But for now, it just looks like this. You can get points. You could go to this shop, however you want to do it. So let's make the hitbox. So for this, we're going to be making a Sprite hitbox, and sponsored by Hitbox, the streaming service. No, not. I wish I was. Okay, here we go. We should not center it. Actually, don't center it. And check precise collision detection or checking. And yep. So for the shop, I'm going to try one thing, okay? Going to be trying this. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'm an idiot. Okay, let's check it out. It has a sprite. Will it break the game? Oh, okay. So setting, nice. We should actually, I didn't expect that to work at all. I know, I'm a professional. Believe me. So what we will do is we'll have to make it bigger. So you go into the sprite, you go into transform, and you say resize canvas. Uncheck keep aspect ratio. We're going to be making it a lot wider, at least 82. I think that should do. Little joke, little wordplay. There you go. Fill it out. Make it black. Doesn't matter. And then we can also give it to the back. So object back and shop will have this the hitbox as its sprite. And in the game, you put it in, and you can tell that it covers it pretty well. You should be able to hit it now. And in this shop, we will add the back. We can just place it anywhere. I prefer placing it in the corner. That makes sure that it will be in the right place, and you can find it at any time when you're looking into your room later. So, clicking shop, you can go there. Clicking back, you can go back. Pretty great. You can also click on your Oreo, and you can click on the sides. You can also test how wide the hitbox is. You can tell it might be a little too wide. It doesn't really matter too much. But for this Oreo, the hitbox is pretty much just around the Oreo precisely. So that you can make larger if you want to. Doesn't really matter too much. Now in the shop, you should also put the right score in there. This just makes sure that you know how many points you have going into each room, especially when you're going to be using those points to buy things. So getting 30 points, going into your shop, you can tell you have 30 points. Going back into shop, same old thing. You can go in again. If you can hit it, apparently. Yep, there you go. Now what we're going to be doing is we are going to be adding elements into the shop. So we're going to be adding some sprites. And I have provided these sprites for you. We have the 10x pointer. This will just increase your click or per click number by 10 times as much. So we'll call it 10x. The sprite 10x. Again, don't center it and use precise collision detection. And we're going to be making another one, load a sprite, and the auto pointer. And then call it sprite auto, like that. And again, precise. And we will make an object. This object will be object 10x, sprite the 10x, solid, visible. And we're going to be setting it to the front so you can click on it every time. Great success. Mouse pressed and mouse release. Again, like last time. On the release, we'll just add a comment, putting in literally nothing. On here, now this is where it gets a little interesting, because now we're going to be making the 10x effect. So once you have clicked on it, you have purchased it. Too bad if you didn't want it, now you've got it. So the first thing is we're going to be doing is checking the global score hole and seeing if that is greater than or equal to, and we're going to be making a new global for this. Actually, we should make it now. This is how I code, guys. Don't judge me. So making a global called 10x price, setting it to 1000. And then we will, doing this, we'll make a 10x amount. Now the 10x amount right now will be 0. So it means you have purchased 0 10x effects and the price is 1000. But it's not just 1000, it is 1000 times the global called 10x amount. So for every 10x you have purchased, it will cost 10 times as much. We can also, just to throw you off, we could do it like that. We can make it times 2. So one time will cost 1000. Actually, it will cost 2000. Next time, it'll cost 10 times 20,000. It will cost 22. Oh god, 20,000? Yeah, I think so. Wow. Is that unreasonable? No, it's probably not. Actually, let's just put it like this. No times 2. We'll make a simple game. So we have these two variables, 10x price and 10x amount. And on left click, it will check if your score is greater than or equal to the price of the item. And if it is, it will purchase. If not, it won't purchase. And the first thing that it will do is it will retract from your score. So your score whole is minus equals to the price. So it would take, or it would retract the asking price from your global score. And then it will say global 10x amount times 10. Oh, actually, times equals 10, maybe? Yeah. So, oh god. This is not going to work. It has to be 1. Okay. Now it'll work. It has to be 1. You can't do the other. So, it knows that you have purchased it. it will retract from your price. It should increase the price. So the global price. Actually, that is done automatically, I suppose. Yes. So, what do we do now? We make an object. An object called 10x. Actually, wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Yes, this will work. Okay, so in here we make a draw event under the object 10x. And this will do basically just one thing. It will draw some text. The text being at a position of, around about 60. And to make sure that we are not intruding on the sprite, it'd be like 50, something like that. And then it'll write the price. So what it'll write is the string global and 10x price. Like this. Oh, forgot what parentheses. There you go. So we'll write out the price of the item. And we have to place the item in the room. So in the shop room, we place the object 10x. Oh, sorry about that. I was going to sneeze. Jesus Christ. Okay, so one sneeze later. And here we go. We can enter the room. We don't have to purchase it, but we can enter the room and take a look at how it's placed, how the text is. It didn't work. Okay, so it seems this is not possible. So for now, we'll do this, and then we'll add a step event later. So under your object 10x in the create event, this is not what you should do. I thought it would work. It didn't work. Don't do it. Okay, so after a bit of fluffing about, I realized we should have centered the object and then change the x to a minus. So it'd be like minus 16 and y 16 on both auto and 10x. And then I got an error in the create event where we're trying to set the price as like times the amount. Problem is both this is only done once, which was the inherent mistake. And the other is we were trying to do that whilst this was not set. So I was an idiot. You shouldn't do that. That's not how you do it. What we will do, however, is we'll add an object called 10x price, which won't, I guess it will be visible in depth to minus 100. And in here, we will have a create event. And in that create event, we can do this. Now, this will be the object that you place to write out the score next to the 10x. So it'll write out, it'll be like draw text. And again, I think it should be somewhere around, but now it has to, 80. We'll test it out. And then string global, and then the 10x amount. Oh, actually 10x price, I suppose, is what it needs to write out like this. We can copy this and enter color, because we're apparently all Americans. So see white, just because it will look better this way, I think. If you want it to be black by default, no, go right ahead. I just think the white color here fits better with the theme of the Oreos. And, you can't get too much of the black and white theme, so, just a white text. And you also have to place that in the room, which I forgot. So we go into the shop, and we'll praise the 10x amount right there. It doesn't matter where you place it again. It is its position is already set. so you can place it anywhere in the room as long as it's in the room. We can try and go into the shop. It did not write it out.